Do you have multiple health insurances that are going to carry into retirement? Have you ever wondered what's the best option for you? Or more importantly, are you just overpaying for your insurance? Well, then stay tuned for this video because it might be for you. Hi, I'm Micah Shalansky, and this is the FERS Federal Fact Check. Today we have a great question from Nalima, and she wants to know, I will be 65 years old next July and plan to retire in December 2022. I'm covered under my husband's health plan and I also have FEHB self-only. I also have Tricare. I feel maybe it's too much. Should I suspend my FEHB and just keep Kaiser and Tricare? How will it work when I turn 65 and get onto Medicare? So far, I've not been using Tricare. I receive disability payments from the military. Will that stop when I retire? Nalima, those are all really great questions. Let's kind of boil those down. And the short answer is, that really could stand like, yeah, you're paying a lot for insurance. Are you really getting the most out of it? But making sure you make educated decisions about your benefits is really important. Good news, you already use some good terminology in your benefits. So your questions, we're talking about Medicare. How does Medicare work? You talked about Tricare. How is that going to come into effect in retirement? You talked about your FEHB plan that's going to be there. And then you also talked about your spouse's health insurance as well. How does that work in that coverage? Now, of course, don't know how their plan is set up, so we're going to talk about the other ones. Now, you had brought up a really good point only for people that are under FEHB and Tricare, and you have this phenomenal ability under FEHB to, as you even said it, suspend. Oops. You always think you can spell until you start doing it publicly, right? Suspend your Tricare or your FEHB and you can move back and forth. This can be a phenomenal option in retirement because what it allows you to do is it allows you to eliminate that premium but never goes away, right? You don't have to pay the premium for it. You can move under Tricare and then at any time you can actually move back under FEHB. And as we all know, Tricare is dramatically less expensive than your FEHB coverage. What's the downside in doing this? Number one, be careful. Know how to do this properly. Tammy Flanagan writes a little bit about this, and we'll put a link to her article below this video as well so you can read that. And she talks about the steps you need to do to correctly suspend your FEHB so that you're still entitled to keep it into retirement. So make sure you do it correctly, number one. The second downside potentially with this is we have some clients that move under Tricare, but really they're in an area that's not military heavy. They're not next to a base or a post. So that means a lot of the doctors, physicians, hospitals, etc. aren't used to accepting Tricare. This can become a bit of a limitation. So good news is try it out. You can suspend this, move under Tricare, and see how it really works. Are you getting the coverage that you need? And if you are, great. You can do it at a fraction of the cost versus having your FEHB. And you brought up another question too with Medicare. How is Medicare going to work? Medicare is going to be your primary insurance, right? And you have to, at the wonderful age of 65 years young, you have to sign up for Medicare Part A and Part B. I am saying have to, because Tricare requires that you do it. In fact, if you are retired military, you look at your military ID, look at the back of it. It probably expires when you're 65 years young. And in order to renew it, you have to show proof of enrollment. Medicare Part A is an Alpha and B is in Bravo. And Medicare Part B is an additional cost around $150 depending on your income, could go higher than that. So when you go to retire, assuming you're on Medicare, you're under Tricare, this is how your insurance would work, right? But your spouse's insurance, I'm going to leave that blank because I don't know how long they're going to be working, but you'd have Medicare to pick up the primary bills, then what they don't cover, then Tricare is going to cover. And if you find that doesn't work, you can always move back and pick up FEHB. So you have some flexibility which works really nice, but you don't have to keep paying that higher expensive premium. So go look at that. How do you correctly suspend your benefits to make sure you still have options for them later? Understand how this works at 65 so you can make sure you enroll in Medicare Part B and there's no penalty. Now, if you have questions like this that you'd love answered, scroll down to the bottom, leave us a question. You might be featured in the next FERS Federal Fact Check. Or if you have a more complicated question you want to answer directly situated to your unique situation, then click that schedule an appointment button. We can sit down virtually for an hour, go through your personal situation, and be able to help you plan for your retirement. And until next time, happy planning.